And they literally went as far back as like talking about like Mesopotamia. They literally said Mesopotamia. Welcome back, citizens of De Niro Nation, to Our Hero De Niro, the only podcast that is watching and recapping Robert De Niro's entire filmography in random order. I'm Mike, and with me as always is my co-host, Mike.
No relation.
And today we're talking about the 2016 American comedy drama film, The Comedian, directed by Taylor Hackford and starring Robert De Niro. Mike,
for real?
For real this time. It's not always a given.
He's in more or less every frame of this entire film.
For better or worse. Mike, did you have any familiarity with this film before we rolled it last week?
Absolutely not.
I knew it by reputation because the Flophouse podcast had done an episode about it, which didn't bode well. And also in Letterboxd, I follow some critics, two of whom are David Sims and Nathan Rabin. And I couldn't help but notice how low their star ratings were for this film in particular. So David Sims, critic for The Atlantic, gave it 1 star, calling the film wildly, cartoonishly bad. And Nathan Rabin...
It's the most popular review. There it is. It's right there. Yep.
Yeah, you can take my word for it. And Nathan Rabin gave the film 0.5 stars out of 5, saying, "I didn't even realize movies could be this bad." So I was really bracing myself. Going into this one. Just a little bit of background about this film. It is directed by Taylor Hackford, who's notable for directing films like An Officer and a Gentleman, The Devil's Advocate, and Ray. It's written by a lot of people: Louis Friedman, Richard LaGravenese, Art Linson, who I think is most notable as a producer, and Jeff Ross, who is a very notable insult comic. The film's... Yeah.
We've talked about this before. When a film has 4 different credited writers, you know it's going to be good.
It's 4 times as good.
Yep.
Only the best ideas
brains
will rise to the top. Exactly. In addition to Robert De Niro, the film also stars Leslie Mann, Danny DeVito, Edie Falco, Veronica Ferris, Charles Grodin, I think kind of coming out of retirement, Cloris Leachman, Patti LuPone, Javier Barnes, and
imagine coming out of retirement to be in this thing.
It's pretty funny bit, arguably funnier than the film. And last but certainly not least, Harvey Keitel. Apparently, it was hoped that at one point Martin Scorsese would direct the film, which is sure. If you've written a Hollywood script, sure, why not hope that Scorsese will direct your film? I don't know how realistic that is.
It's funny too, because now that you say that, so I did no research into this film at all in preparation for this podcast, so I didn't know any of this stuff that you just said. It does have some kind of vaguely mob-esque, like small little subplot lines, doesn't it? Like, I could have seen Scorsese dusting this bad boy off and doing something a little bit heavier and a little bit different with it. I don't know that he could have made it good with this script, but you can kind of see it a little bit.
Yeah, and then just 2 little production notes. I did a little bit of research after watching the film, and I read an interview with the director, Taylor Hackford, and it sounds like this was really more of a passion project for De Niro. Hackford actually came in pretty late in production as the director, so he described the shoot as very quick. He only had 27 days to shoot, and it sounds like it really wasn't his baby. Similarly, the role that Leslie Mann plays, I think, was originally supposed to go to Jennifer Aniston, but she dropped out at the last minute due to some sort of personal circumstances. So Mann was kind of a last-minute replacement there in a more dramatic role. The film itself was a critical and box office failure. And I think it only has like a 40 or so on Metacritic, so it is not well remembered or received.
I'd like to say why I laughed so hard earlier.
The reason
why I laughed so hard earlier was because I'd pulled up the Letterboxd page to see if I could see these reviews that you were talking about. And so there's 3 popular reviews featured on the page. 2 of them are the 2 that you read. But the third one just says, quote, "We're doing poopy over here, Robert De Niro." And it's going to be a hell of a discussion.
That's great. Yeah, kind of...
And it really encapsulates the whole experience, because they are doing poopy in this film, aren't they?
Well, should we get right into it then?
I think so.
Very exciting. Today, it's my recap. I just came back from the gym. I'm feeling pumped. I'm feeling swole, I have not given up on my promise to the citizens of De Niro Nation that I will continue to work out for the duration of this incredibly sedentary podcast that we have.
It's very long, too. Well, you're going to be working out for a long time.
I mean, we'll see if I stick with it. But the film opens up. It seems to be like late fall, early winter, that kind of setting. There are some time jumps, but at this point, We get some jazzy music and some intro footage of New York City, just some random locations, B-roll footage. And we get our De Niro face reveal pretty early here, around 53 seconds. He's pretty far away, so it's around that time. But he eventually walks up close to the camera, and he plays some sort of celebrity or someone who used to be a celebrity, because at one point he's riding on the train during this introduction, and a woman thinks that she recognizes him, but he denies that he's the person that she thinks he is. He clearly doesn't want to be remembered for whatever it is he was famous for. After the introduction, he arrives at a small comedy club, and his manager, whose character name I never bothered learning, is played by Edie Falco.
It's Miller.
Miller?
Yep.
It's Miller time. You think she gets that a lot? Probably, right?
He's just calling her by her last name because he references in a conversation with her that her father, whom he also calls Miller, used to be his manager.
Wow, interesting dynasty of comedy agents. Sure.
I want you to know, as we come into this, I gave this one a real close watch. So
did you really?
I've got a very strong memory of the details of the plot.
This film is almost exactly 2 hours long.
Yeah.
And we will be talking about the length of this film as this recap goes on.
It feels at least 3 hours long.
Right.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem that long in the beginning. I was kind of ready to lock in for 2 hours. And,
it's breezy.
Yeah.
And it slows down.
Oh, it really does. So De Niro, he goes up to the mic. He's introduced as an old comedy legend. And we learn that he also used to have a sitcom called Eddie's Home. So... Right. It seems like we get a little footage from the sitcom. It seems like a classic honeymooners kind of thing. Yeah. But he goes up there and he's an insult comic.
I don't think you're going to say it. So this was my first big laugh of the movie. I laughed at the clip of the sitcom for two reasons. One, they de-aged De Niro because this is clearly, based on its style, supposed to be like you think like maybe early 80s to early 90s kind of era sitcom. So we're talking about this was supposed to be him 35 years ago. So they try to age him down to like being in his 20s or 30s. And it, I don't know, it's some of the worst de-aging I've ever seen in a film in my life, honestly. So that made me laugh pretty hard. And also it's just so bad. Just like the sitcom clip is so bad. Like I was like, oh, this is what we're in for, huh? This is going to be a special experience.
It kind of worked for me. One, the de-aging kind of worked because the show was being projected on the curtains before De Niro came out to do his set. And two, like I understand that the sitcom was supposed to be hacky, within the world that this film is creating. So I didn't mind it at this point. I have to say,
the jowls.
Yeah,
the de-aging
true.
worked for you. Listen, he had the jowls. His face is a totally different shape.
It was bad de-aging. It wasn't believable, but I appreciated that they tried to, mess it up with
somebody's got to hook these guys up with Martin Scorsese. He pull a little Irishman on this bad boy.
I don't think it works in The Irishman either. I think
it works a lot better than this.
Listen,
I agree.
maybe
It doesn't work for me. I can't suspend disbelief for that shit in any context, but like. You could tell The Irishman was a good job at it. Like that was a good version of de-aging.
They threw a lot of money at it in that film. I don't think they threw a lot of money at it in this film. But De Niro, his character's name is Jackie. Jackie does a set, and he's an insult comic, and he does
Jackie Burke.
Jackie Burke, sure.
It's important to the character.
Okay, he does his set of insult comedy and does some crowd work with a drunk bachelorette party. For what it's worth, early on, we're going to talk a lot about De Niro's performance in this film. I immediately thought, wow, De Niro actually seems to be trying. This is the most alive I'd seen him in any recent film.
Yep.
So I give him credit for that.
Yeah, it's a funny performance. Like, he does a nice job. It's very funny to think this was a passion project for him.
There is a world in which there's a way in which this could have been a good film. I get it. I get the thought process more so than a film like Grudge Match, which is solely designed to cash in on his and Stallone's legacies.
Yeah, I understand this film. I think really well. And I think I really understand what it's trying to do and see the questionable virtue of that exercise in storytelling. It's a real poor implementation of an idea with questionable merit.
So this set is derailed by there's some asshole in the crowd who is heckling Jackie, and he's saying, "Do Eddie, do Eddie." Like they all want him to do his catch, or the guy wants him to do his catchphrase from the Eddie's Home sitcom, and Jackie doesn't want to do it.
I'm home or something, isn't it? What is it?
I don't remember.
It's something really stupid. It's just him going like, I'm home.
Right. It was very hacky in that sort of early sitcom kind of way. And so Jackie doesn't want to do it. And he's doing pretty well with the crowd work, kind of managing this heckler in the beginning. But then we see the heckler's wife this is 2016. So the heckler's wife is holding a GoPro and recording the entire incident, I guess for some sort of internet comedy takedown show that the husband and wife host.
Yep.
Which, whatever. This whole scenario, I'm going to talk about it more in the next scene. It seems pretty fucking like divorced from reality. I understand. Okay, there's like some asshole heckler and a situation arises from that, but this is kind of like next level shit. I kind of get why comedy clubs these days are like, we don't want you using your fucking phones in here.
Yeah, no
and
fucking
recording
shit.
Everything. Right.
I sympathized so much with De Niro's character in this scene, honestly.
Right.
Like, this seems like it would be infuriating if someone did this to you, like while you were doing a comedy set. Like, don't hit someone, of course. Like, that's wrong. But like, I don't know if anything was going to set you off and make you hit someone. Like, this feels like it would be a pretty reasonable reason to have that reaction.
I mean, I legitimately think that if such a show existed and had any traction online, that comedy clubs would like have bouncers with these. Right. Exactly. Like, don't let these weirdos in. Like, what a crazy premise for a show. The entire premise of our show is we are just going to fuck up these people's livelihoods. Like,
and then put it on YouTube. Like, Jesus Christ. I do want to add before we move on, just a little detail about what particular kind of insult comic he is, right? Because I think it's important understanding his character as well as my overall thoughts on the film. So he's an insult comic, but he's a particularly mean, particularly lewd insult comic. He makes a lot of throughout the film. I can't remember if it all happens in the scene, but he makes a lot of sexist, homophobic, racist jokes to people's faces. And he's doing that during this scene. He's very mean to the bachelorette party ladies. And, in a way that I think kind of gets diffused by the fact that ultimately the couple who are doing the filming are the bad guys, essentially, in the scene. He like says something about the guy's wife looking like a horse or something, like right to her husband, like right to her face. Like, it's like, even as far as insult comedy goes, like, this isn't like the roast of some celebrity. This is just some comedy club. Like, it's relatively mean spirited. So he's a guy he's not a very kind person.
No. So the situation ends with Jackie coming down into the crowd and punching the male host of the show down to the ground, gives him a bloody nose, and we hard cut to a video of the incident being shown in court. So Jackie receives 100 hours of community service and has to issue a formal apology to the defendant. And his apology is very curt. He just says, sorry. And the defendant doesn't accept this. So he again, this is totally unfucking realistic. He nudges his lawyer and is like, what the hell? That's not good enough. So the lawyer tells the judge, can we make Jackie go again? And even though there's already a plea agreement that everyone had agreed to, the judge makes him deliver a more sincere apology, which I don't think is how it works in court. And this goes sideways, as you can imagine. Jackie refuses to go again and eventually just launches into roasting the defendant and ends up getting 30 days in prison, which I don't know. This whole introduction felt very forced to me. It felt very manufactured.
I don't know if I agree, honestly. This seemed realistic to me. Like, they had a plea agreement, but the specific implementation of the plea agreement is up to the judge's discretion.
I guess.
And if she decides that the way that he honored his agreement in the plea agreement to apologize was not a real apology, like, what if he'd said it sarcastically? Would the judge not be then empowered to say, like, no, you didn't just apologize? Like, I think that's like the job of a judge is to make those kinds of soft judgments about what's happening in the courtroom.
What does that do to the plea agreement? Wouldn't they like withdraw?
It would nullify it.
Right. But it doesn't, because he still has the community service.
Well, so that part I don't think makes sense. Yeah. I agree. But then I think going to jail makes sense as well. I mean, he was charged with contempt of court.
Yeah.
He didn't listen to her.
Yeah, full month.
I guess keeping the 100 hours of community service, considering that the jail term seemed to be due to the contempt of court charge, doesn't really make a lot of sense. But like, I don't know, lawyers, write in, tell us, is this reasonable? That didn't flummox me at all. Like the judge being like, you need to apologize again. I feel like that just feels like what would happen if somebody issued an insincere apology when they'd agreed to give one in the court.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. He said sorry. What do you want from him? He's an old man. So the next scene happens. Eddie is walked to his cell. He's escorted to his cell by a prison guard, kind of sees what life will be like on the inside. And as he walks past the populated cells, the inmates in unison sing the theme song to his old sitcom. So it's not going to be a very pleasant month for him. And you might think that we're going to spend literally any time with him in prison outside of this one little scene, but that's not the case. In the next scene, Eddie is out of prison. He's been
nary a quarter minute of screen time in the jail.
Yeah, exactly. So in the next scene, Eddie's already out of prison. He's been picked up by Miller. She's driving him wherever, I don't know. And I couldn't help but notice, you talked about the CGI de-aging. I couldn't help but notice how fake this driving looked. This looked,
I wrote this down. This
Seinfeld levels of fake.
The worst fake driving, like car shot I have ever seen in a feature film. It really stood out to me.
I am genuinely convinced that you and I could do better with the existing equipment that we have.
Oh yeah.
Our iPhones, a couple of tripods,
right, you get a gimbal out, like you'll be good. Like get like a nice smooth shot.
But they have some conversation. I didn't write anything about this. Is there anything important in the exposition here? I don't think so.
No, I mean, this is where he reveals that her dad used to be his manager and that things were better, he feels, when he was his manager. But she says that actually that's not what happened and that Jackie fired him for like seeming like he did a bad job or something. But he didn't actually. And the Miller father guy never really got over it. And so this is just more scene setting and character development that like Jackie is a huge asshole. Like he's just like alienated everybody in his life. And we're going to get like a few more nuggets of that over the next 15 or 20 minutes as we establish his character.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I think it would have helped the character more if the inciting incident was a little more ambiguous. Again, I think if he was just dealing with some sort of really rough heckler, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think so. No, I mean,
we're just on
I'm
his
just going to
side.
say it just because I want us to all be on the same page, right? So I think I just need to say it now. So here is my theory of the case for like what this movie is about. Okay, so this film is like it's like a sick fantasy that you could ever be this kind of asshole and you would just be rewarded for it. Like fundamentally, the way that you're an asshole is virtuous and like deep within you have a heart of gold. And so you'll get to be an asshole and you'll be like rewarded for it, right? Like he's going to go viral several times throughout the film for like publicly like being a huge asshole, like dishonoring agreements he has, treating people poorly, like acting like a dick, whatever. And like every time this happens, his circumstances keep getting better. And so I think that's what this is. I think this is like a fantasy film about like how amazing it would be if you were like this kind of curmudgeonly douchebag if it turned out you were right about everything and everybody recognized it. Like it's a crazy fucking story. So like no, I don't think it would work better if it was ambiguous, because I think that's the point. Like the point is like he gets to go on this beautiful journey where he just is an asshole for the whole movie and everybody's like, oh shit, dude, you're awesome. And then at the end he's really happy and everything's great. Like it's a pretty crazy arc for a character to have, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk more about those situations as they arise in the plot. So after this, we're no longer with Jackie. We see Harvey Keitel getting out of a very fancy car. He's chauffeured or whatever, and he talks to Leslie Mann. So
what's her character's name?
Harmony Schultz.
Harmony, that's what it is.
How could you forget the character name?
I don't
Harmony?
know, honestly. I'm not sure. I remembered Miller.
So we get some exposition. Keitel plays Mann's father. He wants her. It sounds like Harmony was arrested and dumped. Apparently she caught her ex in bed with someone, and dislocated his jaw and broke the woman's wrist or something like that. So she also has community service that she has to do as part of her whatever agreement, retribution.
But also, she left Florida where she was working for him in his nursing home. And he wants her to come back because my sense, although it's not made explicit in the story, my sense was that all this stuff happened in New York. Right. So like she left Florida to move to New York to try to get a fresh start and her life fell apart. So he's making the case like, you should just come back. This isn't working. You're not succeeding at moving to New York.
And the scene ends with him making dinner plans with her for his birthday in a week. She's reluctant, but ultimately agrees to it.
Yeah. It's also important to say here that like he's obviously also a huge asshole. Like in this scene.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like he's very pushy with her and very dismissive of her feelings and like very domineering in a way where you can just tell like, I mean, this lady, she's got to be like 30, maybe like 30 or 35. Like she's like a grown woman. How old do you think she's supposed to be?
I mean, Leslie Mann was like 45 when this film was
okay,
made.
So she's even older.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like she's a grown woman.
Oh,
like
yeah.
he's being very infantilizing with the way he's treating her. And she deals with it very maturely. And he just like steamrolls through her and continues to act like a huge asshole. So we have like two asshole older men now in the film.
We sure do. So in the next scene, Jackie walks into this small deli in Lower Manhattan where Danny DeVito's working. So DeVito plays De Niro's brother in the film. They sit down and chat. Sounds like after the incident, Jackie lost a lot of gigs. Him and his brother get into an argument, and DeVito's wife, a character named Flo, comes out. And Jackie has a very insensitive conversation with them about how well their child is doing. So it sounds like DeVito and Flo's daughter is a lesbian. She's getting married, and the wedding is happening soon. DeVito really wants Jackie to come, even though he's reluctant. And the scene ends with Jackie asking his brother for $5,000 just to kind of float. At some later point, we're in a local mission and we see Eddie serving food, and he's doing some very crass stand-up while he's serving the homeless individuals. Really fucking loud too. Like people kind of quiet down to listen to him do his bits. And I don't know. I don't think I'd really want to hear this if I was just trying to get soup or whatever.
Right? Like all the time throughout this film, he's doing this. Like he's in places doing jokes that are not appropriate for the space that he's in loudly. And we get all these shots of people looking at him like, ooh, like scandalized face. And then like there are never any consequences for the whole movie.
You would think that whoever runs the mission would be like, hey, you know, this is a mission, right? It's like a Christian organization. But afterwards, he goes upstairs trying to find a supervisor, and Leslie Mann is up there complaining to some guy named George on the phone, presumably her ex. She's kind of yelling at him.
I love that you knew George's name.
I don't know why.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
No Miller.
But like it's a very, Mann is giving off real manic pixie dream girl vibes at this stage in the movie. I guess manic pixie dream middle-aged woman vibes because she's like 45 years old in this thing. But she's like kind of yelling at George, but also still wants to get back with him. And I think George very wisely is not giving in to that request. He's not interested. So after the phone call, Jackie and Mann, they have a little meet cute, whatever. They chat, whatever. Later on, Eddie's at home in his apartment. God damn it! I called him Eddie in my notes until like 2/3 of the way through until I realized what his actual name was.
Everyone else in the film does too.
That's true. I mean, yeah, they really want to hear him say, "I'm home." Just like that.
That's not what it is.
I don't think it is.
That's what we're saying for the whole time.
I just don't remember what it is.
Home.
Good luck finding that online. I'm sure that information does not exist because no one likes this movie enough to add to the IMDb trivia page.
We got to enter some IMDb goofs for this bad boy.
Absolutely. This whole movie's a fucking goof.
It's like making this was the goof.
So Jackie's at home in his apartment, and he's ironing some clothes while listening to some nice instrumental jazz music. This is fun because I think we're learning through films like The Comedian and The Score. We're learning what De Niro's actual interests are.
Like what's he like in real life?
Right. He clearly really likes jazz. He clearly has a passion for stand-up comedy, which is also something I read in Taylor Hackford's interview, which I think is really cool. So I could kind of see him like, oh, this is fun. It all kind of comes out in these films. After he irons his outfit, he goes to a packed comedy club, and we get quick little cameos from stand-up comedians Jim Norton and Hannibal Buress. Shout out to Hannibal Buress, who I'm sure doesn't listen to the podcast, but we saw a few months ago live in Rochester. Oh, that'd be really great. Wonder if
Hannibal,
you enjoy
if you're
this
out
podcast.
there, please write us about literally anything at ourherodeniro@gmail.com.
Yeah. People to get in this podcast, people to get on this podcast in interviews. 1, the director of that film we hated, John Curran. 2, Hannibal Buress.
I'm going to watch fucking Chappaquiddick tonight.
Listen, man, I watched Chappaquiddick. Here's my one sentence review of Chappaquiddick. Twice as good as Stone. 3 stars.
Damn. There you go.
Literally twice as good.
Get him on the podcast.
So we get a little montage of people doing stand-up while jazz plays, whatever. I will say, I don't have much to say about the score in this film, but I do appreciate that it's a nice, light, jazzy score. I think it helps propel the film, particularly during some of the film's slower moments, which are going to come later.
Later and slowly.
Yes. So some other day, Jackie and Miller are in some sort of conference room meeting at a place called Raw TV. So some kind of TV network called Raw TV. And Jackie pitches them a prison TV show, which didn't sound like a very good idea. And the woman leading the meeting...
Well, hold on.
Yeah.
It's really important. There's a very important detail about this. He doesn't just pitch a prison TV show. He pitches a prison TV show about his Eddie character from the sitcom. And so this is meant to be a sequel to the Eddie's Home sitcom, where Eddie has gone to prison and he becomes like a gang leader. Like he like runs like an organized crime outfit that competes with like the Aryan Brotherhood. Like he like names the other gangs that will be in the prison. It's like this fucking crazy idea. Like I was just thinking like, I mean, 1, this is the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yes.
But 2, there is absolutely no way that the legal agreements for this show are structured in such a way that this show could exist. Like this network is just that I assume still runs this show that it seems like people still like in syndication and makes a ton of money on it. They're just going to let him make one that's totally different thematically that like ruins the character. Like it's like so fucking stupid.
Yeah, you have to do like a spiritual sequel, not official kind of thing.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a very bad idea. And the woman at the head of the conference table, she does this thing where she kind of butters Jackie up. And she's like, oh, yeah, really great, really good stuff. Just got to think about it, got to talk about it with the crew. And Jackie, to his credit, knows that this lady is full of fucking shit. So he pushes back and leaves the meeting. And then afterwards, Miller follows him out there and then he fires Miller. So we're back with Jackie in his community service. Now he's in a clothing room and he's talking up some homeless guy. And he's like doing another fucking bit. And it's just like, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, it's like it's always a bit with him, and they're like not particularly funny bits. But for the second time so far, Harmony kind of, she's also working in the same room as him, I guess, all the time, and kind of looks over from a distance, can kind of pick up what he's putting down, and it's like, yeah, because he's loud as fucking hell. I don't know how you could find that endearing.
You guys have such a special connection. You could hear him screaming 24 feet away from you.
Yeah, they go into the mission kitchen afterwards and have a little one-on-one conversation where Harmony tells Jackie about her dad, says that she grew up watching Eddie's Home because her dad was such a big fan. They only had one TV, that her dad is an ex-con, blah, blah, blah. They kind of compare, what crimes they committed in order to receive these sentences. They both committed assault, but Jackie only got 100 hours of community service while Harmony got 250.
And she says it was sexist. And then he says, but I did a month in jail. And that diffuses the conversation.
Which, fair. Yeah, it seems like actual prison that he was in.
But to your point earlier, I totally forgot this detail. The month was for the contempt. So why did he get 100 hours of community service for the same thing that she got 250 for? It doesn't make any sense. So good point. Put that on the IMDb Goofs page.
Take it to trial.
Yep.
You get time off for time served or whatever.
Oh, that's true. Maybe she went to trial, whereas he pled out. Maybe
I'm saying
he should.
I'm saying if he's already getting the fucking month in prison, I don't know. I don't know how the legal system works. Guys, I didn't finish USA Suits. I only watched the first 5 seasons and it really went downhill. So I don't have all the answers. During this conversation, Harmony drops a big jar of olives, which is a real bummer because I personally love olives. I don't know about you.
Huge olive fan.
Oh, big fan.
What's your favorite olive?
Ooh, really tough. I don't know. I don't know if I have a favorite. Black olives are so mild, but I love them on pizza.
They're too
nice
mild
little
for
enhancer.
me.
Yeah.
I like a nice Kalamata.
Oh, that is nice.
Yeah,
That's
they have
olive.
a very rich flavor. I really love that. Yep. Sometimes I'll slice them up. You put them on like a cracker. Maybe like slice up one olive and spread the little slices around like a Triscuit. It's really, really
That
nice.
is nice. I got to try that sometime.
Yep, it's
You
really
really
good.
can't go wrong with olives unless you drop them on the floor like Harmony did.
Or unless you don't like olives. They do have a very strong flavor. A lot
Sure.
of people don't like olives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a them problem.
It's a divisive food.
Listen, olives are the official food of De Niro Nation. So
I don't think I agree, honestly.
anytime
I love them, but I don't think so.
anytime I need to fuel up for a podcast recording session, I hit the fucking olive jar. I just grab a handful and cram them in my mouth.
What do you
And
think
it
is
gets me
our
going.
official food? What is the food that you and me have in common the most? Like that we have the highest like shared passion index for?
Maybe a hot
I don't know
dog.
what that would be. Yeah, like a hot dog probably. Yeah, like a nice hot dog. That's the
Yeah.
official food of De Niro
Classic.
Nation.
Yes.
Yeah.
We learn in this scene, it's very evident that Harmony has some major issues with emotional regulation.
Yeah.
And Jackie, witnessing this whole situation unfold, asks her out on a date, which, I don't know, seems like a wild time to me. Hey, you're doing your court-mandated community service, and you're having a meltdown over dropping a fucking $5 jar of olives. We should go out sometime. Also, I'm 22 years older than you. It's just like, it's a very bizarre
I think it's the perfect
line
time.
of thinking. Sure.
I mean,
yeah.
it worked, didn't it?
It did work. It did work in this very realistic script. So later on, we're back at another comedy club. I will say, I do appreciate the milieu of this film and that we spend a lot of time in comedy clubs. I think I love stand-up comedy, so I thought this was all neat. I liked that in the
I
first act.
liked all of the places in this film, honestly. That's something I really enjoyed about it. There were several points where I was like, I like the way this set looks. Like that was something that I felt a lot while we were watching it.
That's nice. I didn't
Yep.
like every place in this film, but I'm gonna wait to tell you what I didn't like when we
right.
get there.
Yep. Okay.
So we're
Yeah.
seeing some woman do stand up, and I know they used real comedians in this film, so I apologize for not knowing who she is. But Jackie walks in, it's crowded in there. He walks in with Harmony. They're kind of in the back. And this is where I wrote, oh, fuck, his name is actually Jackie. Whoops. Eddie was the sitcom character. So we got there.
I'm home.
But the comedian calls Jackie out, and they have a very, lewd, rude, friendly back and forth where they're kind of giving each other shit, very crass. It's fine. It's whatever. Two friends kind of having a back and forth. And after the night ends, Harmony and Jackie are kind of walking out of the club, and Harmony's telling Jackie how much she enjoyed the comedy, and Jackie invites her to be his date at his niece's wedding that coming Sunday. Harmony agrees, but says, okay, I'll do this. I'll be your wedding date, but you have to come with me to my dad's birthday dinner as my present to him. So they agree. There we go. The rest of the film, it's all laid out for us.
Oh, I can't wait.
Oh, well, here we are because it is wedding night. I'm not quite sure why or how, but Jackie and Harmony arrive an hour late. So again, this is a lesbian.
It's not explained.
It's not explained. It is confusing.
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever. It doesn't matter. I guess it saves us from having to see more of this wedding because it honestly, what?
I mean, I have a production theory for why it is the case. I think they didn't want to have to shoot the wedding.
Well, yeah.
I think that would have been like a really complicated scene that probably wouldn't have added anything. But they should have justified him being late, like in the plot.
I agree. I completely agree. I think it's for the best because this wedding, this part of the wedding that we see fucking feels like it's playing out in real time. It takes so long. This is when the crack started to show for me. But they walk in right when the brides are about to start their dance. I guess it's an Italian Jewish wedding, right? Or is De Niro supposed to be Jewish? Okay, he's supposed to be Italian.
He's supposed to be Jewish.
Okay.
The
wife is Italian.
Wife is Italian.
Okay,
yes.
Gotcha. Okay, perfect.
And this is why I mentioned that his name is Burke, because his real name is Berkowitz. He changed his name to Burke when he became famous.
It's all coming together.
Part of his Jewishness. You know, like I think that Danny DeVito's character is like a little bit insulted that he changed his name. You know, like it's like he relinquished his Jewishness, essentially.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I do love that in Hollywood, Italians and Jews are allowed to play each other. I just think that's nice, you know?
Yeah, I agree.
I'm allowed to say that I'm half Italian. But so Jackie introduces DeVito to Harmony, his date, and the brides, they pull Jackie away because, according to DeVito, Jackie's niece idolizes, adores Jackie. So she really wants Jackie to, you know, make the rounds, meet everyone, and eventually say a few words in front of the crowd at the wedding, which I think is an ill-advised idea.
Inclined to agree, but it is her wedding. Did you notice, by the way, that this is Danny DeVito's real daughter?
I did not know that.
It is. Yep.
That's fun. Listen.
Yep.
She's perfectly fine in this thankless role.
Sure. Yeah, no, I agree. The small performances in this film are not bad. Like the little bit parts and stuff, like everybody does a nice job.
So we see some Jewish wedding festivities occur for quite some time. And there's this weird moment. There's a lot of stuff in this film that kind of doesn't pay off in any meaningful way, but we get this moment where Harmony, you know, people are kind of dancing in a circle and Harmony ends up dancing in front of everyone in the center of the circle with some very old man, and the old man collapses, but then gets back up. So it's not actually any real issue.
He collapsed so that he could grab her boob.
He grabbed the other woman's boob, though.
Maybe. He grabbed somebody's boob.
He grabbed a woman's boob.
Yeah.
This film didn't
I think we're supposed to think it was fake. Like
right,
he just like wanted
faked.
a woman to lean down over him, basically. I don't know what the point of that is, but like it wasn't a red herring. It was for that. It was so we could see him being lecherous.
Right. I'm not saying it was a red herring. I'm just saying there was no point to it. This film's issue wasn't that it wasn't crass enough. Oh, we need more old men grabbing gazongas or whatever.
Well, it's no Dirty Grandpa. They could have stepped up the raunch a little bit.
That's true. It really isn't. I mean, you can't top Dirty Grandpa. De Niro says the N-word in that film.
So
he doesn't go that far in this film. But
no, he does not.
He comes pretty close, though, because at this point, Jackie's niece does a big introduction for Jackie. Jackie goes up to the stage and starts to do some roast comedy. And it seems like the niece's wife and many people in the crowd are not ready for this. He jokes about the decor. He does some very blue comedy about molestation. It's not going great. It really culminates with him
specifically about him, or specifically about his brother being molested.
Right.
I don't think these were jokes.
I think it was a joke.
I think it was true.
I think it was a joke.
Or that was the way that I read it, because Danny DeVito looked like a little bit embarrassed about it.
Yeah, I think he looked embarrassed because his brother was telling molestation jokes at his daughter's wedding.
I'm not sure. Why don't you guys write into ourherodeniro@gmail.com and tell us if you think that Danny DeVito's character really was molested in the 2016 film The Comedian. I think he was.
The joke was that Jackie's up there saying that, my dad molested my brother when we were kids, but he never molested me. And that made me feel bad. Like it really gave me a complex knowing that I wasn't attractive to my attractive enough to my father to be molested. It was a joke.
I don't know. He had that line earlier when they were together in the restaurant where he said that he worried that their dad never loved him. And Danny DeVito encouraged him and said that he did. I think it was true.
I really don't think. I think you're so far off the mark on this. And I think it's really sad that none of the citizens of De Niro Nation are ever going to watch this film.
No one's seen this film.
Because
so
I would love to get a
Yep.
second opinion here. I think you're
Me
very
too.
far off base.
Yep.
Well, okay. Well, the set culminates with Jackie. He tells a story about how the gift that he got the niece and her wife, he got the homeless population with whom he works to rally together and fill a jar with a pint of cum.
This part made me laugh, by the way.
So that they could
I laughed at this
conceive,
part.
so that they could have help conceiving a child. Do you think that was also true?
No.
Okay, so you thought that was a joke.
Yeah, that was definitely
the homeless
a joke. Yep.
people jerking off into a jar, a mason jar.
Yes,
Okay.
that part I knew was a joke. Hey, let me ask you, did you laugh at all during this movie?
I chuckled a couple of times, but no, not really. I didn't find it particularly funny. I
laughed derisively a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really respected De Niro's commitment to the role. I think he really gives it his all when he's up there on stage performing the material. I just didn't think the material was very good. And I also have a very hard time suspending my disbelief when people are doing stand-up comedy in films. I will give this film a little bit of credit because when they show other comedians performing stand-up, like that female comic from earlier, you can tell that they had real comics go up and do real material in front of a real crowd. Yeah. I was like, oh, this feels more authentic. It kind of feels like I'm watching a stand-up special. I liked that authenticity. But no, this is not a particularly funny film. And Jackie is so crass. I mean, this is, the whole jar thing. It's like it's so over the top and it's exhausting. Right. Yeah. DeVito's wife is really pissed that this happened. And it's like, yeah, she has every right to feel that way.
She probably paid for the wedding.
Right.
I think you'd be pretty pissed too.
People are going to be recording this on their cell phones or whatever. Like, oh, what a sweet moment when that old man made the cum jokes.
I spent $60,000 on my daughter's wedding, and I'm going to remember this jar of cum joke.
Had to take off work. I had to fly down to New York for the weekend. I had to rent a tux, and this old man is just talking about not being molested or being molested. I don't know, but true story, fake story, not sure. Still not appropriate for a wedding. So there's a little kerfuffle after this speech. Jackie tries to bolt out of there with Harmony because he understands that Flo's going to be really pissed at him for the set that he performed, and it escalates into some kind of yelling match between Harmony and Flo in the lobby of this hotel or whatever event space where the wedding is being held. And then they leave. The next night, wedding's over, on to the next thing. Jackie meets Harmony outside of a nice steakhouse for Harvey Keitel's birthday dinner.
I like that they give us these as a 1-2 punch.
I agree. Yeah, there's no need for anything in between.
Yep. Yes. And this scene feels much breezier than the wedding scene.
Yes, I agree. It really gets to the point pretty efficiently, which I appreciated after the very dragged out wedding scene. So they enter the restaurant and we get a feel for Keitel's character. He's like chatting up some, I don't know, patron or some much younger woman who kind of gets up. She gets up and leaves as they enter the restaurant. They come over. Keitel meets Jackie. He's very excited to meet him. He talks about how he's a big fan of the sitcom and invites them to sit. We get another one of these moments where we see how infantilizing Keitel is as a father because the server comes over to take everyone's drink orders and Jackie places his order. And before Harmony can say anything, Keitel just automatically orders her a martini. You can tell she doesn't love that, but is putting up with it. Keitel really wants Jackie to do the sitcom catchphrase, but Jackie really doesn't want to do it. And Keitel's response to this is to offer Jackie a wad of cash, which is brutal. I mean, that is really insulting. Very tacky.
Pretty insulting.
Yeah. Yep. So Keitel's like, okay, if you don't want to do your impression, I do a great Eddie impression. I'll do the impression. So he does it. And he also keeps referring to Jackie as Eddie, which Jackie doesn't like. He tries correcting him and it doesn't really seem to be working. So it's not going very well. Keitel and Harmony talk about Florida again. Harmony says she doesn't want to go, but Keitel says, too late. I chartered a plane and it's leaving tomorrow. And Keitel mentions that he owns a retirement community down there. During this conversation, I think Jackie can kind of pick up on how uncomfortable Harmony is in the relationship with her father. So he starts acting like he and Harmony are a couple. And that leads to a very uncomfortable conversation. Jackie at one point tells Keitel straight up that he wants to fuck Harmony. And Keitel is displeased hearing this information. Keitel and Harmony end up getting into an argument at the table while Jackie kind of stands off waiting at the bar. And eventually Harmony gets up and leaves with Jackie.
This is another one of those things, right? There won't be any consequences for this. But the way he behaved was so ridiculous. Like, I get that he was insulted and that Harvey Keitel's character is an asshole. But like, it's his birthday. You're at his birthday dinner. And in front of his daughter, you tell him that you want to fuck her. And like, that's just going to be fine. It's not going to have any consequences for him. It doesn't make any sense.
Well, they make a point to talk about how Harmony's dad is an ex-con or whatever, and how he's like possibly connected or whatever. And you would expect that to go somewhere, but it doesn't. It doesn't really inform the character. It's just, I think it's only even mentioned because Keitel just has kind of that bad guy energy, that heavy energy to him. Yep. Otherwise, it's totally pointless.
He just seems like a douche.
I agree. He really does. After the dinner, Jackie and Harmony go back to Harmony's apartment. It's pretty sparse. There's not much there. She says she's going to go to Florida because why the hell not? And they get pretty close to each other. They have a little conversation, and Jackie gives her tips on how to talk to her overbearing father. And they have a little heart-to-heart. Harmony tells Jackie that her mom walked out on her when she was 4 years old, and Jackie reveals that he used to have a son who passed away of an overdose. And you can tell he partly blames himself still. He says he wasn't there enough. He was always on the road, etc., etc. Harmony wants Jackie to do a comedy act about her deadbeat mom, and Jackie is understandably uncomfortable with this idea. And I wrote here, stand-up comedy as seduction. I don't know about that. I don't know if stand-up comedy is inherently very sexy. I love stand-up comedy. I think it's super cool. I don't know if it's like,
look at this film. It's working. It's in this documentary film that we're watching.
There you go. If you want to seduce a manic depressive middle-aged woman who's currently paying her debt to society for assaulting her last romantic partner, then by all means get into stand-up comedy. But listen, stand-up comedy as seduction works. They have sex, but Harmony makes it clear that Jackie is not allowed to spend the night. Cut to the next morning. It looks like Jackie has actually spent the night. He wakes up in Harmony's bed, but when he gets up, he looks around the apartment and she is gone. The apartment's been packed up. There's very little there. She left a little note on one of the walls that says, "Thanks for the laugh." And
she signs it love.
Love. Yeah, there you go.
Love Harmony. Sweet. How'd she get out of the apartment? She packed up her apartment while he was asleep?
Right, she's like rolling the multiple suitcases and stuff and propping the door open.
So stupid.
Listen, man, they did not have the budget to do all that Foley work for all the sound effects.
Oh my God.
After this, Jackie is waiting for an elevator to go to the Friars Club in New York City. And there's like a server, I guess, who's going to deliver food service or something. He's an Asian server. He's an Asian guy. And Jackie makes some racist joke about what the food must be underneath the lid. And the server calls Jackie an asshole. Then they get into the elevator, and at the very last second, Billy Crystal catches the elevator. He's just playing himself, and they have a little back and forth, him and Jackie, while the server kind of just stands there silently and watches. I don't know. There wasn't much of a point to this besides Jackie telling Billy that he found love, which he sounds kind of flippant when he says it, but I think we're meant to understood that he actually feels that way.
Yep.
And I wanted to note here that Billy Crystal was much funnier in his cameo in The Adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle than he is in this
the funniest part of that
scene.
film for me.
Yeah.
Yep. That's what I was thinking too. That part is so funny. The traveling mattress salesman.
It's a very funny idea.
God. There is nothing even 10% as funny as that single joke in this entire film.
So Jackie walks into the Friars Club and he finds Miller sitting at the bar. Listen, she handled getting fired pretty well. She knew he was going to come back, so she actually found him a gig already. Apparently, they're going to have some kind of televised tribute or roast to some very famous comedian or actress played by Cloris Leachman. Miller tells Jackie that you could potentially, there might be a spot for you, but right now the roster's pretty full. And what you should do is play the game. You should rejoin the Friars Club because you never come around anymore. You should kiss the ring and hopefully you will get a spot. So at this point, some minor character named Dick, played by Charles Grodin, he comes up and
he's the head of the Friars Club.
He's the head of the Friars Club. I mean, we had a little bit when Jackie was entering the club, a little terse back and forth between them. Jackie feels like, I guess, Dick had stolen some of his material in the past or something, so they don't really like each other that much. But in this current moment at the bar, Jackie expresses his interest in performing in this tribute and kisses the guy's ass a little bit. Back at home, Jackie has been texting Harmony quite a bit, but she is not responding to him. She's ghosting him. He tries calling her and ends up leaving a voicemail, and we're not hearing anything from her at this point. We don't really know.
I blacked out for this scene, by the way. Like, I can't believe there's a scene of this. When he tells her in a couple scenes that he called her, I just assumed that wasn't depicted on screen.
Oh no!
What happened to me during this scene? I don't remember this at all.
We see the text conversation where he's just like, "Hey, how's it going? What's up? Whatever."
I don't know. I must have gotten up to piss without pausing the movie during this part. I do not remember this at all. That's very funny.
After this, we arrive at the tribute. That goes on. At some point, Dick steals something that Jackie had said earlier in a private conversation about May, the character played by Cloris Leachman, being a barely living legend. And Jackie doesn't like this, so he gets up from his spot in the dais and kind of tries to push Dick off the stage. So Jackie goes up and he does his set, which is very blue. It's all just, lewd sex related material. It's like whatever. And during
but it's landing like it always is.
Yeah. I think it makes
always lands. Like you get a few like surprise Pikachu faces of like people who are like, "Oh, is he really saying that?" But then like everybody leaves happy at the end of every one of his stupid sets. I
think that at least makes sense here, where it's like a roast.
Yeah,
I think this is the one time when it should actually play well. Every other time, it's a little
odd. Yep.
Little odd. May starts coughing and doesn't seem to be doing very well, and droops over into her plate of food and dies.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Barely got to know her. Back in his room.
She was barely 94.
Barely 94. Yeah, back in his I guess hotel room. Was he in a hotel?
No, he's got like a small apartment, I think, right? Like
his bedroom. Yeah, his bedroom looks like it has like a hotel issue TV. It was like a 37-inch or something like that. But anyways, he's in his bedroom and he's cycling through all the local news stories about May's death, and they're all focused on an interview that Dick conducted with them, so he's not really getting much coverage.
But importantly, Dick says in the talking head bit of him they show that Cloris Leachman's family asked them not to air the recording of it, and so of course they're going to listen. Because the whole point of this was that Jackie thought he was going to get on TV.
Right,
they were expecting like some ridiculous number of viewers. I think they said like 7 million viewers or something on network TV. So like this was supposed to be like a break for him, was like getting this slot, and now it's not going to happen. Yeah,
thank you for catching that. I definitely forgot that bit.
Yep.
After this, we're back in Danny DeVito's, I think it's called Ben's Best or something. I don't know, Ben's Deli. So I guess he plays Ben. Anyways, we're back in
Ben Berkowitz.
Ben Berkowitz. So we're back in DeVito's Deli. Jackie's having a conversation with Miller, and she has a gig for him in Florida that will pay $25,000. It's some sort of convention. Miller gets up to take a call, and DeVito sits down to have a conversation with Jackie. It's like played for laughs, I guess. It's like supposed to be a funny bit where Flo is kind of watching from behind the counter. She clearly wants DeVito to admonish Jackie for his conduct at the wedding. So DeVito's kind of like, he's doing it, but he's obviously not actually mad. And it's charming because it's Danny DeVito doing it, and how could you not love him? But it wasn't funny. And then he gets up and leaves, coincidentally, right when Miller comes back from her call. Now, we leave cold winter New York for sunny, warm Florida.
Boca, baby.
Yeah.
You ever been?
No.
It's nice.
Yeah, sure. I'd go, especially during a New York winter. Jackie's driving his yellow rental Chevy Camaro convertible, and he shows up at this old folks home, which we can infer is the one that Harvey Keitel's character. The old, exactly. There's some younger man who he's like an entertainer performing a set for the residents of the home who are all gathered together in a large dining room kind of area. So he sings a little song, and then he starts to, walk around and talk to the residents of the old folks home. And like, that's all well and good. So while this is happening, Jackie walks into the back of the room, and Keitel spots him almost immediately. Really incredible coincidence, but whatever. Let's get through this movie as quickly as we can, right? Keitel wants Jackie to get the hell out of there, and I think, again, very reasonable request. While Keitel is trying to get Jackie out of the room, a woman, one of the residents, recognizes Jackie, which interrupts the conversation. So while the singer, the entertainer, is doing some crowd work, Harmony, who's also in the room, I guess this old folks home is just whatever, maybe because they had the entertainment set, they were all collected in this room. Sure, It's just the one room, yeah.
They all just live in that room. They live at those tables. Yeah.
That's how Keitel is making such a profit off of this old folks home. He's like, I don't even need to be in crime anymore. Here's what you do. You get 2,000 homeless or old people, and you jam them all into one cafeteria.
Right. You charge them each $10,000 a month, and you just put them all in this cafeteria.
Right. They can adapt.
I'm rich.
They can adapt to sleeping in dining room chairs. But Harmony notices Jackie and walks up as more people kind of start to notice Jackie. Harmony is talking to Jackie and says that it was very funny when this happened in the movie. She keeps telling Jackie that Jackie should have called. And Jackie's like, I reached out to you multiple times. Right, exactly. Yeah. It's just like such a funny thing. You should have called. It's like, he did call. But Keitel, trying to interrupt the situation, he goes up to the front of the room. He takes the mic away from the singer and introduces Jackie as Eddie from Eddie's Home. So he wants Jackie to go up and whatever, make a fool of himself or have to do this character that he clearly doesn't want to do. Harmony tells Jackie that he shouldn't go up, but he does. So Jackie goes up there and he does a set which is more blue comedy. And I have to say, I'll just say it here. This fucking scene, all of the Florida scenes really, they looked exactly like a USA Network original series. I was kind of shocked. It's like something wasn't connecting in my brain because it looked exactly like a USA Network show, but was so lewd and crass with what was actually being said. There was a fundamental disconnect for me there. I did not enjoy it.
Yeah. It didn't happen to me.
That's nice. I'm glad you like the Florida stuff. I really did not.
I think because I watched Comedy Central shows of that era and budget. Like, what about Workaholics? We've seen raunchy shows that had sets that look like that.
Yeah, but the look specifically, I think being a Florida set show, just think about Blue Skies USA Network
Blue Skies,
programming.
Characters welcome, baby.
So Jackie does a set of more blue comedy that goes on for way too long. And it eventually evolves into him singing a parody of the song Making Whoopee. But what was the parody phrase? It was like, instead of making whoopee, it was going poopy or something.
You don't really not remember, do you? I
don't know. What was
referenced it 30 minutes ago. It was the Letterboxd review.
Yeah, what was it? You're pulling it up.
We're doing poopy.
We're doing poopy. Thank you. I was close.
So you remembered the word poopy. You just didn't remember what the verb was.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay. I thought you didn't remember the word poopy. I was
I remember the word poopy.
Not only is it one of the only things that rhymes with that, but I also said it. Okay. I'm with you.
The stand-up set leading up to this song went on way too long. And then the song itself went on way too long. To his credit, he does win over the crowd with this material. Yeah. They seem to enjoy participating in the song. So whatever, he clearly knew what he was doing. It was successful. It was just incredibly boring to watch. After this, we're finally at the convention, this event that he's getting paid $25,000 to be at. And he's dressed up as Eddie. He's in his, I don't know what he was, like a cop or something, or a guard or something. Yeah. Yep. Okay. So he's in the outfit from the sitcom. He's signing autographs, and some guy comes up who's dressed up like Eddie, some middle-aged dude who asks for his autograph and asks him to do the catchphrase. And this is the one time in the film Jackie does the catchphrase, but he does it so loudly that the entire convention quiets down to listen to him say this catchphrase. I thought it was a very weird, creative choice, but whatever. After the convention, Jackie arrives at Harmony's place. She has a very nice Florida apartment, and
very nice.
Yeah, very nice. So
it looked like $500,000 apartment.
Probably was.
Yeah,
her dad's fronting the bill for all this stuff. Her dad's
I guess
rich.
He paid for it. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
but he wanted her to move back, so he's
right.
An enticement. Yeah.
Yeah, she's not paying for it with her fucking CNA salary or whatever. Yeah. Working at the old folks' home. But they made plans at the end of their conversation before the whole making whoopee thing to meet up and go out in some capacity. Yep. So Jackie shows up. And apparently Harmony is really fucking bad at communicating through her phone, because Jackie shows up for this date or whatever you want to call it, meet up, and she answers the door and says, "Oh, I'm not feeling that well, blah blah blah." And so he asks if he can come in for a minute, and she reluctantly lets him in. And Jackie basically says he doesn't understand. What the hell? What the hell happened over the last few months? Why did you ice my ass? He doesn't say it in those words.
It's a good question.
It's a great question. But Harmony reveals that she is pregnant with Jackie's child.
Oh,
this is an uncomfortable conversation. Jackie is doubtful that it's his, but she insists that he's the only man he's been with this entire time. She tells him about how she was originally planning on having an abortion, but when she drove to the clinic, she couldn't bring herself to exit her car and actually go through with it. She just kind of like had a meltdown right there in the car. And I wrote, she seems ready to have a child.
Oh yeah, very much so. Yeah, I'm sure it's going to turn out great.
Yeah, Jackie is not psyched about this, and the conversation they have escalates into a very loud argument. Jackie's phone rings, and it's Miller, which ends up interrupting the conversation. Apparently, an edited video of his making poop. Sorry, what was it? What was it? Poopy? We're making
doing
poopy.
Poopy.
Doing poopy. Apparently, an edited video of his doing poopy song has gone viral. And
I thought it was kind of a bop.
Yeah, it was. Sure, it was like a very flashy edit. It was like sped up and cut a lot, and there were a lot of flashing colors and stuff. It was a little catchy. I don't really think it would go viral, but whatever.
I don't know. It reminded me of Dead Giveaway. Do you remember Dead Giveaway?
No, what?
Okay, well, look it up after the episode and just put a sting from it in here. People will remember it.
Dead giveaway. Dead giveaway. My neighbor got big testicles because we see this dude every day.
It was a very popular this thing. Like, I don't know what else to say about it. It was the exact same thing that this video is. It was an incredibly viral video where somebody like turned this interview with some guy on the street saying something kind of ridiculous, being a dead giveaway, into like a song where they remixed his shit, basically. Like this happened around this time.
Listen, man. The only viral video I know is Star Wars Kid.
I love the pregnant buildup we had to that. Well, why don't you go ahead and throw that in too? All right, let's get a couple of viral videos.
I'm not going to do that. I'm going to attempt to go viral by replicating the Star Wars Kid every day.
Oh my God.
I'm going to go into my garage and destroy my body by just falling onto the hard concrete over and over again until I finally get 1 million views.
Yeah, hey, $1 million views is kind of quaint now, isn't it?
I know, that's why I said it. It was funny.
Yeah.
You would know that if you understand what jokes were.
I mean, clearly I don't, right?
Jackie goes up in front of the wedding and tells a very pained, sincere story about how his brother was violated by their father as children. He definitely wasn't just telling some blue comedy.
No, I thought it was meant to be funny. I just thought he was making a joke out of actual childhood trauma. Like he was like turning it into a joke. I didn't think that he meant it to be sincere. I thought he was turning that into a joke.
You ever watch any of those Friars Club or Comedy Central roasts?
I've seen some of the Comedy Central roasts. I've never seen any of the Friars Club stuff.
I've seen some of the Friars Club stuff. It's harder to come by, but I watched basically all of the Comedy Central roasts back when they were in the zeitgeist. And I mean, they made Anthony Jeselnik's career, and I have to say he's exceptional. There are a lot of really great sets from those. It's just that's how the comedy is. It's all so extreme and gross and mean, but in a fun way. And Jeselnik was great. Yeah. Oh man, Jeselnik, Greg Giraldo, R.I.P., Jeff Ross, Patrice O'Neill, R.I.P. A lot of heavy hitters. There were actually, totally sincere here, there were a few points during this film when I was watching it when I thought I'd be laughing a lot more if I was rewatching one of those roasts.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's tough.
That could be your recommendation today?
No, but I do genuinely think...
It's a pretty funny idea.
It's not a bad idea. I think the funniest parts of this film are with the little interstitial scenes when it was just 30 seconds to 2 minutes of real stand-up comedians doing comedy. Whatever they wrote, I'm sure they had real comedy writers. I'm sure Jeff Ross contributed, but man, it's just when Jackie's performing comedy, it's really not funny.
Yeah.
So in this call with Miller, Jackie learns that because he's gone viral, he has been offered a role at Raw TV to host a family game show. He's like a last-minute fill-in for this role to replace Dick, Charles Grodin's character, who apparently got prostate cancer. So Jackie needs to get out of Florida and head back to New York for filming this thing, recording this thing. I guess taping is the word they use in television parlance. So he's walking outside with his duffel bag, and Keitel just happens to be on the pier with some, like, I don't know, bodyguard or something like that, assistant. They get into an argument. Keitel calls Jackie a loser. Jackie antagonizes Keitel about the whole baby situation. But we do not get any sort of payoff there. Jackie leaves. He goes back to New York, and we're with him on set for the taping of this reality TV show called Say Uncle. Well, the sign says just say uncle, but they keep calling it say uncle. So I wasn't really sure what it was called. Thought they put that one of the IMDb goofs page for this film. And it's some kind of family competition show. A mother and two kids, they're kind of waiting off to the side of this set. And the father has some sort of challenge where if he succeeds in the challenge, he wins a new car, a vacation for his family, and $10,000. Did you know what the car was?
No. Did you know what the challenge was?
Yes.
Okay. What was the car?
The car was a Nissan Leaf.
No, I didn't notice that. That's
$20,000 EV that gets 100 miles of range.
That was like the first EV. All right.
Yeah.
That was a big deal back in 2016.
It was just I only noticed it because it reminds me of what I always say about Nissan drivers. Nissan drivers are the most dangerous people on the road because they have nothing to live for.
Oh, we are going to alienate like every single one of our listeners who does not drive a German or Japanese car. Is Nissan a Japanese make?
Yes.
One of the nice Japanese makes. Like,
Yeah.
I drive a Honda.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're just going to shit on every like make and like class of car over the course of this podcast. And it's like, if you don't drive either a BMW or a Honda, you're,
That's just part of our blue comedy. That's part of our insult comedy. We go up in our pulpit and just make fun of lesser Japanese automakers. But anyways, so the challenge that this father has to participate in, it's almost like a Fear Factor kind of challenge where there's a big tub, he's in his bathing suit, and he needs to lay in a tub of agitated crawfish for 2 minutes. If he succeeds, then he wins all of those prizes, and if not, he brings shame to his dojo.
Do you think you could do it?
Yeah, let's talk about this challenge.
Yep.
I think I could do this.
I thought I could do it too, but when he comes out, he's very bloodied. You know, like I bet you it would be pretty scary to have that happening to you.
I didn't think that was blood. I thought that was like crawfish
No, I think it was
juice.
blood.
You think so?
Why would crawfish juice be red?
They're red.
Blood.
They're red. Think they're totally dry?
I'm sorry. Get the fuck out of here.
They were in water. They were in water.
You think that when an animal is moist, that means the moisture is the color the animal is?
I don't think this man in this family competition game show emerged from this tub bloody.
Is crawfish secretion. All right, here we go. Let's see here. So it says that it's yellow. It was definitely red. I think it was blood, man.
You think it was blood?
Yes, because I think that's whatever. I think it was blood. Okay, and I'm pretty sure I'm right. So let's just proceed as though it was blood. You think you could do it?
Listen, we need someone in De Niro Nation to watch this fucking film because the way he emerges, yes, he's red, but it's like a thin, even coating over his entire body. There's no puncture.
There were splotches. Yeah, it was definitely blood, man. It was like blood where the pincers had pinched him particularly bad. You want to pull it up?
No, I was just asking Petey, ChatGPT.
Oh yeah, what's he say? Yep.
It says that you would likely come out with some sort of residue, but I asked what color, and it just said yellow, brown, or grayish residue due to water staining, organic matter, and sediment/grit. So the residue wouldn't be a bright.
If you would get hurt, just ask that. Like if you did this thing, like would they draw blood? Would they? He's gonna know.
It's thinking. Okay, I thought of an answer.
Yeah.
Yes, it's possible, but unlikely to be serious.
Yeah. Didn't seem serious.
Yeah, so they have small pincers that can pinch or nip, obviously. Usually hurts for a moment and might break the skin in a sensitive spot. Their sharp shell edges, tails or jointed legs or claws rubbing against skin can also cause light scratches that bleed a little. Multiple claws/grabbing at once or a particularly forceful pinch could cause a deeper scratch, but serious bleeding is rare.
Here's what I want to know. Why did you think they were crawfish?
Because they say crawfish.
Oh, do they? Because they looked much bigger than that to me. I thought they were like little lobsters.
Crawfish can become big.
Oh, can they? Okay,
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't aware of that.
No,
Okay.
we don't get the big ones here in New York.
Okay, yeah, I think of them as a small animal. Like I think of them as topping out at like this big, but crawfish can get that big, as they were like down in the bayou.
Yeah, they weren't.
Where they catch the
lobster big.
crawdads. Yeah. Okay. So the point is, let's assume they were drawing at least
Okay.
some blood, right? So they're pinching. I don't know if I could do it. I'd like to think I could because that sounds like it was all worth like $60,000, like for like 2 minutes. Feels like you should be able to do it. But like, I don't know, man. I bet you time would pass real slow. Like you'd get through like the first 10 seconds and you would think it had been the 2 minutes. And then when you looked over to the clock and saw that it had been only 10 seconds, I think it would start getting really challenging to like to stick with it for the full 2 minutes.
Yeah, it's a really interesting question. I like to think I could because I used to watch Fear Factor.
Yeah.
And the shit they did in Fear Factor was so much more gross than this crawfish challenge.
Well, I don't think that either of us could do any of the shit in Fear Factor either. So,
Right. But they had to do like bug related stuff that I could not handle for even 10 seconds. But this, I mean, yes, it would be very difficult to tolerate the sensation.
you know that crawfish are just big bugs, right?
Yeah, but I wouldn't think about that. Like you and I would not have had this conversation beforehand, and I would not be thinking about them as bugs. Like I would just be
Okay.
thinking about them as like sea creatures.
Fish?
Yeah. I know they're
Yeah,
not fish,
that's
but like
interesting.
I wouldn't be thinking about them as like little like bugs
They're
the way
just
you think
big
about
bugs.
bugs. I know what they actually are. I know what them and lobsters are. I'm just saying I think mentally, I think I could endure for a $20,000 Nissan Leaf.
I don't know, man. I think that you'd be getting pinched, and I think it'd have drawn blood a few times, and you'd be wondering what it was like in there. You know, like you'd be thinking, like, oh, is it bad? You know, like, am I hurt? And I think it would be really hard to sit for the full 2 minutes.
Well, to your point, this guy screams in agony. What you
This
still have more
isn't
to
just
say?
a purely intellectual exercise because, like, I think it is important for the scene because of what's going to happen. Like, I think it's believable. Like, I think that we are supposed to understand that there is a humiliation attendant to this challenge because it's really, really hard. Like, I think that is what we as viewers are supposed to take away. Not like, oh, I could do that. This guy's a bitch.
We're meant to
Yeah.
understand that it's humiliating, but I don't think it's necessarily because of the severity of the challenge.
No, we need some people to write in. To
The
our
way
hero,
this, we
De
need
Niro.
everyone who's listening
Yeah.
to stop the episode, watch the comedian, and then resume the episode at this point. Welcome back to the episode. Thank you for watching the film. So this ends with the dad with only 10 seconds to go. He freaks out. He jumps out of the tub. He emerges covered in some sort of residue of unknown origin. We don't know what it is for sure.
Probably blood, though.
And he and he walks over to his family and apologizes to them, and they have a family hug. And Jackie refers to the guy as a disappointment, but then as the guy's walking off stage, he understands. He sees how humiliating it was for that guy, and very loudly and brazenly quits the show and walks off.
Yeah, I mean, so what? This is
So
the
what?
moment where he like found morality?
Yeah.
Like it's like so absurd. Like everyone
agree.
else he shit on for the whole film was just like totally fine, but because this like kind of fat schlub with the loving seeming family was someone he was talking shit about, like that's what turns him, and he's like, oh, there's a fundamental immorality to this. But also he's still a fucking douchebag for the rest of the film. So it's not like he like found God and now he's like a nice guy.
Right.
It just felt like a very contrived excuse for him to again be a huge asshole and not suffer any consequences for it.
So some time has passed and we're back in fucking Florida. Welcome back to another episode of this USA Network original series. Jackie visits Harmony again, and we can tell the time has passed because her belly is very big at this point.
Yeah.
He offers her a box of mementos from his childhood that he inherited, old family photos and stuff like that, in case
From his molester father.
who I don't actually
Yeah.
think was a molester, but
Yeah.
he offers them to Harmony in case she ever wants to show them to the kid. And then he also offers to be as involved in the child's life as she wants him to be, which is very sweet. He leaves, and then she opens up the box on her own and starts rifling through his old fucking daguerreotypes or whatever the hell, black and white photographs that he offered her.
They're like black and white photos from the 70s or like 60s, like his fucking daguerreotypes.
He had to stand still for 10 minutes for them to shoot any one of those. Back in New York City, Jackie enters a bar and he's invited into a booth with, listen, I don't know who this lady was, so maybe she's a famous comedian, but some lady, Miller, Jim Norton, Hannibal Buress, and a guy I don't know. Apparently, he went viral again for the incident when he quit the reality TV show and telling Raw TV to go fuck themselves. It's implied that Miller is the one who leaked this footage, which I don't really understand how that would be possible. She's an agent who doesn't work for that company and wouldn't have access to that recording. But somehow she manages to leak the footage. Maybe she was recording during the incident or something. Who knows? Who cares? And we get a little Hannibal Buress stand-up fake out, which really pissed me off. I thought we were going to get a nice little bit from him, but it's really only 10 seconds. He introduces Jackie, and Jackie is warmly received by the crowd. Huge time jump to 8 years later for the coda of this film. Jackie quickly exits a cab in Florida and runs into the back of a school talent show. He sits down next to Harmony. Wise's daughter comes out, his daughter Riley, who looks nothing like her father, but whatever. Yeah. She goes up and...
Well, he's a lot older than her.
That's true. But we know what he looked like when he was young.
I was just making a joke.
Oh, okay. Oh, shit. He learned comedy during This Is a Miracle.
That's the fundamental tragedy, I think, of my general affect, is that I think that actually was a pretty funny joke. But
citizens, write in.
You just believe that I'm being earnest because I so rarely joke.
I thought you were going to say because you're so rarely funny, but citizens.
write into our hero De Niro at gmail.com and tell us if you think I'm funny.
Yeah, if you made it this far in the episode, we really appreciate you. I would love to hear from you.
I mean, God, it took them a really long time because they had to fucking watch The Comedian 8 minutes ago.
That's true, halfway through, So Riley comes out and her talent show act is performing a stand-up comedy set, but she's doing it about allowances, but her act is very blue, and she curses a lot in a way that is offensive to many of the audience members. And I think, again, rightfully so. I don't think an 8-year-old...
it's just offensive conceptually.
Right.
It's a children's event.
Right.
It's obviously not going to be acceptable to most of the parents in there that the children hear this stuff. It just is bad.
Definitely poor parenting to encourage your 8-year-old daughter to do lewd stand-up comedy talking about pussies and stuff like that.
A school talent show.
Right.
She's going to get fucking suspended.
So when she makes some off-color joke, and in the crowd, Jackie looks over at Harmony and says, "He didn't teach Riley that," and then the movie ends.
I'm sure. Yeah. Wow. What a movie it was.
What a movie it was, and I'm glad that all the citizens watched halfway through this episode. With that, it's time to move into our final ratings. Mike, I'm so interested to hear, what did you think of The Comedian?
Yeah. So fundamentally, right, I think that just to restate my case from before, I think this is some weird power trip fantasy. I don't know if it's on the part of the screenwriters or on the part of De Niro as the apparent passion behind this project, I guess. But this really seems like this hot shit alpha male fantasy that you can just be a douchebag who treats everybody around you poorly, but you'll just keep having more material success for it. And by the end, even though you've done very little to demonstrate this, everyone will fundamentally understand that you're a great guy with a heart of gold who just has communication issues. And so I think it's a very weird story. And I think that it's kind of interesting, honestly, if you think about it like that. But then it falls apart because the execution is also so poor. So it's you can't even appreciate it as an interesting type of story to tell, because then you're watching it and you're like, oof.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, it's really not a lot to like here. I do enjoy De Niro's performance overall. I think that he struggles with the stand-up stuff just because, to your point, it feels written. It doesn't feel like earnest jokes that he's telling, but he delivers them well. He's funny in the role. I do feel like he was trying in this film in a way that's a little sparse at this stage of his career. We've seen a lot of stuff from this period now.
For sure.
Yeah, so that's nice, but everything else about it I think is pretty bad. The pacing is really bad, the writing is really bad. I think that most of the other main performers are pretty bad, honestly, except for De Niro. And Harmony's character is what is this character?
Yeah.
Like she's worldly and grounded and seems to have like a real like heart to her. She's also a manic pixie dream girl, but she's also a middle-aged woman. And like, I feel like she does her best to perform the role, Leslie Mann, you know, but like, it feels like a Herculean task that she really wasn't up to. And so nothing about her performance at any point in the film really worked for me. Like I was always trying to figure out like, what's this person hiding? Like just something about it just seems inauthentic because of how ridiculous the entire characterization is. Yeah, I don't know. It's also not very funny, to your point. Like I laughed a few times during this movie. I gotta be honest, I have to make a confession. I kind of enjoyed the "We're Doing Poopy" song. Like that made me chuckle a little bit, and I liked how catchy it was. It reminded me of Dead Giveaway. Maybe if you watch Dead Giveaway and you have seen it and you're reminded of it positively, maybe that will make you think about this differently, because it made me feel a little nostalgic for like a very dumb period of internet meme culture where that was like a thing that was going on. Like Dead Giveaway was the big one, but other meme creators cribbed that. Like that was like a thing for a year or two. And it was pretty funny, honestly. So I did laugh at it a few times, but overall it really isn't very funny. Like it isn't nearly as funny as Dirty Grandpa.
No.
Which like isn't that funny. Honestly, it just makes me laugh a lot because I have a really stupid, raunchy sense of humor about that kind of stuff. So I don't know. I feel like I'm really going on for a long time here. I think this movie's pretty bad. I don't know. I struggle a little bit because I feel like when I read what the reception was, I still feel like it's a little overblown, honestly. Like, it's not that bad. That one guy gave it a half star. Like, I don't know. A half star? You're telling me to him it's as bad as Rise of Skywalker? Like, I don't think so. I don't think this movie is as bad as Rise of Skywalker. So, you know, all that being said, for all the reasons that I just stated, I am going to give this 1.5 stars.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm excited to hear what you think. Like, I feel like the reception to this film was a little overblown. To me, it wasn't nearly as bad as like Savage Salvation or Killing Season. It wasn't near the very bottom of the pile for me.
So going into this film, I thought this film was going to be legendarily bad due to its incredibly poor reception online, especially from these critics whose opinions I really respect. So I was initially very surprised. During the first act, I actually liked it quite a bit. I was pretty charmed by the authentic New York City vibe, the light jazz soundtrack, how committed and invested De Niro seemed to be. I was kind of vibing with it. I also really enjoyed the stand-up comedy angle. I thought that was an interesting premise. I thought that was all well and good. And so for the first act of the film, I was kind of on board with it. And I was thinking, why does everyone hate this film so much? I was leaning kind of towards like 3 stars. I was like, oh, I don't dislike this. I don't think it's bad so far. And then it kept going. And I mean, to your point, this film is only 2 hours long, but the pacing is so bad, it feels like it drags in the second 2 acts of the film, which I think is really terrible. The script is all over the place. There are all these subplots that feel extraneous or unresolved. What was the deal with Harvey Keitel's character? And even just structurally in this film, this is supposed to be a romantic comedy, I think. I think your interpretation of it is accurate. Like your interpretation of the finished product is accurate, but I think they were trying to make a crass romantic comedy. And I think it just totally fell flat because it wasn't romantic and it wasn't that comedic. And to that point, I think it was a real missed opportunity not giving the characters of Jackie and Harmony more time together. They have a couple of nice scenes, and then Harmony fucks off for like a third of the movie. She's only in a couple more scenes after that towards the end. Yeah. So we really don't get to develop this character who otherwise seems like a manic pixie dream middle-aged woman. I just thought that was so weird. I'd even hold the performance against Leslie Mann. I think she was fine working with what she was given. I think the issue here was really the script. Yeah, I think she had decent dramatic chops. You know, she's primarily known as a comedy actress, but I thought she did okay here. So overall, I don't think I hated it as much as I expected to, or as much as many critics say they do. I think it had some promise in the beginning, but it really squandered it later in the film. And I ultimately can't recommend it. There are just too many misfires structurally with the subplots, the tone, the pacing. And so I ultimately also landed on a 1.5 out of 5. I agree with you. It's not as bad as a movie like Savage Salvation, but I also don't think it's nearly as good or entertaining as films that I've rated 2 stars, like Dirty Grandpa and Shark Tale.
Yeah. I appreciate the clarification about Leslie Mann. The focus in what I said was on it being a Herculean task, not on her not being up to it. She's totally fine. I just think this character is like not good.
Not a very well-written character.
Right? It would be difficult to perform this this character as written in a believable fashion. I really, though, I'm surprised. You don't think they meant to do the thing that I said they did? I think they did. I don't think that's what they'd have called it to themselves, but like I think that is what it's supposed to be like. Like I think it's supposed to be like a Hail Caesar for like this kind of guy. Like
I don't know. I'll have to think on that.
I definitely perceived it as intentional while I was watching it. I could be just force fitting like some narrative in, and I didn't read about this. I did no research into this film. I took it as it was. I knew that I knew you'd bring a lot of information, but that was the way I perceived it. I perceived it as having been like that story was the intent.
Listeners, sound off at ourherodeniro@gmail.com. We value your feedback.
We've never said so many controversial things about a film in this podcast. I mean, you really need to watch this and weigh in. It's on Hulu.
Yeah. Oh, is it really? I watched it on Tubi.
Oh, yeah. I watched it on Hulu. It was great.
There you go. So you guys have options.
Yeah.
On that note, Mike, is there a film you'd like to recommend in addition to The Comedian? Because these people are obligated to watch it now.
Yeah. So I really struggled to think of a recommendation for this film. Because it inspired essentially nothing in me. It was really
we call that Shark Tale syndrome,
right?
When you feel that
but
way.
Now I've learned right from Shark Tale, so like now I'm paying attention and I'm putting a lot of effort in, even when something does do nothing for me. I've learned my lesson to Nero Nation. We'll do another Shark Tale episode, someday, and yeah. So I really struggled to think of what I was going to recommend. And so I decided to go in a really interesting and I think slightly unorthodox direction with our recommendation. So I was reflecting on this depiction of like a toxic white man and what type of story about this kind of character these filmmakers wanted to take in my analysis of it as a work of literature. And so I was thinking, like, where have I seen that done really well in a way that I think that folks might enjoy? And I found myself reflecting on the YouTube work of Connor O'Malley, whom I think actually you clued me into, Mike, right?
Oh, yeah.
You were the one who introduced me to
I like
to
comedy.
O'Malley.
I know a thing or two about comedy.
So credit to Mike. This isn't like some brilliant recommendation from me. It's a Mike through the Transitive Property. He showed this guy to me probably, I think 6 or 7 years ago at this point. And so you could just go to his YouTube page and watch a lot of his stuff, and it's all really nice. There's probably like 10 or 15 like really heavy hitters that are some of my favorite videos on YouTube. But specifically, I would like to recommend the 2021 Connor O'Malley film Endorphin Port. Which I think depicts this kind of very strange, toxic white male weirdo. And I don't really want to say anything about it other than that. But even if you don't usually watch the recommendations that we make on the podcast, I think this is like a 5.5 minute long YouTube video. So you should go check it out. I think it might make you laugh.
Yeah, that is an interesting recommendation. Okay, yeah, sure. So Mike's recommendation was a 5-minute long alt comedy YouTube video.
Do you think it will make them laugh?
I hope so. I mean, I hope they also find what I find to be funny.
Yeah.
I love Connor O'Malley. I love Endorphin Port. I think it's one of his best. And he is certainly, it's very funny that you didn't recommend like his stand-up comedy set or anything like that. You went for like just a short YouTube video.
Oh yeah, I guess that does have the exact same general theme to it, doesn't it? Well,
yeah.
Stand-Up Solutions would be another great recommendation. That is more like probably like a half an hour long, right? It's like an actual film.
It's like an hour long. It's like a stand-up comedy
is that an
special.
hour long? Well, there you go. It's like a whole film.
Yeah, man. We're doing film recommendations. Oh,
it's
man.
not really a stand-up special.
I mean,
it's like a film that features footage that was filmed as an actual stand-up set. But like he's playing a character.
He's playing a character.
Really doing stand-up. He's just doing
a stand-up comedy special.
He's just doing a bit for the whole film.
I think that's a needless distinction. It's his stand-up comedy special. He's playing a character, but like it is Connor O'Malley Stand-Up Solutions. That is his hour.
Maybe you're right. I don't know. It's an interesting like categorization disagreement,
Yeah,
I guess.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Who are you going to side with? The guy who's never watched a comedy special in his entire life, or
I have watched plenty of comedy specials. All right. Why don't you make your
Okay.
recommendation?
my recommendation this week is a film. I did not find it difficult at all to think of one, and I actually have to give credit to friend and listener of the pod, Philip, aka Lips, for this one. You might recall that earlier in this podcast's history, he sent us a listener mail asking if we had ever seen the film The Devil's Advocate, and neither of us had. Maybe you don't remember. I don't know. Doesn't matter. He did.
I don't
The point
remember,
is-
but that was by this director, wasn't it? Didn't you
Yes.
say that?
yes.
Oh, that's fun. I wish I had remembered that. Okay. Yeah, well, continue.
So
Yep.
after Philip asked us about that film, and we both sheepishly had to say that we hadn't seen it and had no response to his question, I went out and watched it. And I'm so glad I did. Philip, great recommendation, and a much better showcase for Taylor Hackford's talent than The Comedian. So for those who don't know, The Devil's Advocate is a film from 1997. It's such an incredible premise for a movie. One of the best ones I'd ever seen. The premise is Keanu Reeves plays a southern small-time lawyer with a very bad sounding southern accent. He plays a lawyer who receives a job offer for a corporate law firm in Manhattan. Him and his wife, played by Charlize Theron, move to Manhattan for this job, and it turns out the head of the law firm is actually the devil. And the devil is played by Al Pacino. And it is fucking incredible. So The Devil's Advocate is peak 90s trash
Are you
in
fucking
all the
kidding
best
me?
ways. It is slick. It is
This
loud.
sounds incredible.
It is over the top. I think it is a great one to watch if you're looking for something that delivers on big performances, outrageous twists, and just that classic kind of 90s excess. The Devil's Advocate.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it's time for us to move to our final segment of this here podcast, where we roll for next week's film. I will say we're actually rolling for 2 weeks from now, because next week is going to be a very special episode. It's going to be Mike's pick because it's his birthday episode next week.
And it's Mike's surprise.
Yes,
me.
it's going to be a
My
surprise.
Yep. You'll
Mike
find out next week.
He's declined to share in advance what we're going to be watching and discussing. I don't even know yet, so I hope it's good. I'm sure it will be. But yes, we will be rolling for 2 weeks from now.
Okay. I'm very excited. Mike, tell me true. What are you hoping for today?
You know, obviously, Silver Linings Playbook is always my number one pick, but I feel like this week it could also be pretty funny if we rolled the Joker film. Is that Joker or the Joker?
It's just Joker.
Oh, okay. I was just gonna call it the Joker. You should have never corrected me. That would have
I
been pretty
just
funny.
really don't want to have to do the Joker recap,
It's
man.
actually
So no.
Joker is actually his next film
It's the next
chronologically.
one.
It's
Yeah.
only right.
I don't know, man. I really want that to be you. All right. Well, I'm hoping for anything but 96 and number 83, aka number 60, Silver Linings Playbook.
All right.
I'm going to roll the dice now. I have rolled 37, which is, Great Expectations, starring Robert De Niro. Mike, you ever read Great Expectations?
Yeah, I read the book. Have not seen the movie.
I never have. I've never seen this film. Nope, but I've also never read the book. It's pretty long, isn't it?
Yes, it's quite long.
Yeah, because I feel like it would be fun if we'd read it for it.
You wouldn't want to read it if you weren't required to for 8th grade language
I was
arts
thinking
class.
if it was like 200 pages long, like I might like bang it out over the next few days. But like I feel like, I don't know, in the next week, I'm not going to read a 550 page book when you'll already have the information.
I'm inclined to agree.
Well, there you go. Okay, let's talk about the film. Great Expectations is a 1998 American romantic drama film directed by Alfonso Cuarón and written by Mitch Glazer. It's got Ethan Hawke in it, Gwyneth Paltrow, Hank Azaria, Chris Cooper, Anne Bancroft, and, of course, Robert De Niro. In case folks aren't aware, this is based on the incredibly famous novel Great Expectations by Charles Dickens, and tepid reception. So we'll see how it is.
You know what? That's fine. I am excited nonetheless because I really like Alfonso Cuarón as a director and I have not seen many of his movies. So fine, whatever. Start me down that journey of watching his whole filmography.
That seems great. I'm excited for that one.
On that note, I'd like to wrap up this podcast. I'd like to take a moment to thank all of the citizens of De Niro Nation for tuning in and listening every week. I'd like to thank Caroline for our fantastic podcast artwork. Follow Mike and I on Letterboxd. My username is Mike Back At You, and his is Mike the Fab. Email us your thoughts at ourherodeniro@gmail.com. And please rate us 5 stars in your podcast app of choice. Would really appreciate it. And we will see you next week with an episode about Great Expectations.
Thanks, everybody. See you next week.